Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a male client that I was working with that had recently ended a toxic relationship with what they came to the conclusion was a narcissist. And because of that, they were able to see them in a way that they couldn't see when they were emotionally attached and in the relationship. So they were making huge amounts of progress in terms of finding a sense of themselves, rebuilding their confidence and self-esteem and self-worth. But it was difficult because there was a feeling of there's still things happening that was affecting them emotionally. So for this particular hypnosis session, you're going to hear a series of helpful metaphors for what can represent the ending of a toxic relationship to open up the possibility of a fresh start, a new life, and potentially even a new relationship. I wasn't sure whether or not to use the metaphor of a parasite for this particular client. So I tested the water before I started the hypnosis session, and immediately there was a positive emotional reaction because it related and it was relatable to their personal situation. So I said, in some ways you can think of a toxic relationship as a parasite that kind of feeds off the host. And when they're finished with them, they try and find a new host. And immediately he was like, yeah, I can relate to that. And I remember seeing a video of the praying mantis, which is one of the most stunning creatures, I think, in nature. I've seen a few in real life when I was out in Colombia, and fantastic, almost alien-looking creatures, very strong, very powerful. But I saw a video of a praying mantis being submerged in water to the point of almost death. And there was this long, disgusting worm that then left the praying mantis, and it was obvious that this had been living inside the mantis, taking all the nutrition, taking all of the energy from the mantis. But it was only at the point where the mantis was nearly dead that the parasite then left. And I had this thought in my mind as I started this hypnosis session, because the client was clearly a very confident, very capable man that had lost a part of an assessment of his own self-worth. So this idea that you've got this formidable creature that somehow was taken advantage of by this parasite really echoed with this particular client. And then you've got the possibility that they can rebuild, and that actually what felt like death, what felt like the end of the world, was actually necessary to have this new start without their energy being drained from them. There's a few other metaphors involved in this. It's not a long session, it's about 15 minutes. But I think that if you're going through a breakup, if you've recently broken up, or if you are feeling like the relationship that you're in is not really serving you, it might be that this metaphor or these metaphors may be helpful in some way. If you're going through a tough time and you think hypnosis can help, you can always schedule a free consultation call with me by clicking the link in the show notes. But you might find that this session, albeit that it was created for someone else, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter what the partner was, whether they were toxic or not, it may be helpful for you in some way. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, that's it, close those eyes. And as they close, release a feeling of tension. Feel it leaving your body in your outward breath. And that's it, breathing a feeling of resourcefulness, exhaling tension. So breath by breath, you're able to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to scan your face for any clues of tension. Maybe the temple, around the eyebrows, jaw, or even just the rate of your breathing. So as you breathe in and breathe out, you're able to let go. Because you've been holding on to a lot. What ifs? Should I, shouldn't I? Replaying moments from time. And all of that is just the past. You are where you are, wiser. With new perspective, new evaluations, at a place where you're already towards the light at the end of that tunnel. As you breathe in and breathe out, just release that tension in your neck. Allow your arms to feel heavier. That's it. Sink into that feeling of deep relaxation. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine you are in tropical nature. And I want you to imagine seeing the magnificent praying mantis. See the bright color of green, the intense eyes. And the praying mantis is one of the most capable creatures of its size. Formidable, dominant, strong and powerful. But most people don't realize that most praying mantis fall victim to a parasite. Starts off small, harmless, but grows inside the praying mantis, draining it of its energy until the praying mantis becomes a shell of its once formidable self. But interestingly, if a praying mantis is put into a jar of water and it looks like the praying mantis is about to drown, then at the point where the mantis looks like it's broken and dead, hollowed out, that parasitic worm starts to leave the mantis. It wriggles and squirms away. And the mantis thinks that everything is lost, that they are at their lowest, not realizing that this is what's necessary to be free of the parasite. Because once the worm leaves the host, it doesn't return. And the mantis can return, can regain that lost energy, become formidable, dominant, the apex predator of its type once again. That what was thought to be a moment of pain and trauma and distress was actually a fresh start, a new chapter. It was actually escaping a biological shackle, that the pain was needed to return to be full, to be powerful, to be strong. I want you to imagine that praying mantis, now free of its parasite, see it again becoming strong, formidable, dominant. I want you to get a sense that sometimes one door needs to close before a new door can open. It's not possible to be free while also shackled. Sometimes the chains have to be left behind in order to venture to new terrains. Perhaps many years ago you were first told the story of the phoenix. There were just ashes, debris. But the phoenix needed the ashes to rise again. And I want you to tap into your resilience, your strength, your ability to overcome adversity, to create a window of opportunity to a new, empowered life. Life is a journey, and sometimes venturing into one place is necessary to get to the place you were meant to find. I want you to imagine that this is a chapter in your life of darkness. But in the same way that dawn follows darkness, that spring follows winter, that the next chapter offers hope, optimism, and light. I want you to unlock feelings of optimism that perhaps in a few years' time, as challenging as this period in your life is, there will be a time when you will look back with eyes of gratitude, grateful for this moment, because it led you to somewhere where you were meant to be. But what's important on this journey is that you give yourself the love, the attention, the encouragement, and the support that perhaps was lacking in the past. Your duty is to you and the people you love the most. But you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give love if you have no love to give. So your number one priority is you, to recharge those batteries, to fill that feeling of hollowness with a feeling of strength, inner love, self-belief. Right now, the way out of the darkness is to prioritize your own happiness, to see your own self-worth, to recharge your own emotional well-being, and to realize that all of this is necessary to take you to the place you're meant to go. Look again at that mantis. Imagine the mantis weeks after the parasite has left. Strong again, powerful again, dominant again. That the near death and drowning was exactly what the mantis needed to be free. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel like you're returning to the present with a new outlook, a new priority, a new way of thinking that enables you to get through a difficult time that will lead you to somewhere better. As I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, starting to count 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.